Hello and welcome to this special bonus episode of The Dairy Edge. Teagasc are running a weekly Let's Talk Dairy webinar series, which is also being made available as a podcast. On this week's webinar, Stuart Childs is joined by dairy farmer Dermot O'Donovan, who documents the tricky grazing conditions following the storms and snow, and looks forward to his grazing plan for the month of March.
What I'm trying to, I suppose, get out to people, I suppose, is that you have a real desire to graze. And if people were watching the video there, when you span around to show where the cows had been grazing last night, you can see the galties in the background. So you're facing the galties and you're at a reasonable height as well. So it's not an easy farm in terms of the actual location of the farm. Soil type isn't too bad, but would be tricky. And the other major obstacle that you have is, as you said, as you mentioned in the video there, you're travelling on tar road, and what you mean by that is you have to go out onto the public road in order to get onto a lot of your grazing platform. So it would be very easy for Dermot O'Donovan to say, we'll just leave them in the shade now until we know that things are going to be okay. So what's your motivation, or what really drives you to get the cows out all the time, Dermot?
I actually love grass. It makes labour around the yard a lot easier. Cows are content. I think cows are happier to be on grass. Obviously, output from the cows is better, solids. It just really frees up the day around the yard. Since we've been focusing on grass here, kilos of milk solids have improved tremendously from grass. And basically, if you don't graze grass early, you won't grow the same tonnage in the year. So trying to get 10 grazings per year from each paddock would be the key, really.
Yeah. And then coming back to what you said about getting the grass growing as well, you actually grew 14.2 tonne last year, utilising 11.5 or plus. So it's fantastic performance. And as you said, then that has linked itself to the increase in milk solids off the farm that you have. And I think an interesting point that I would note for you as well would be that last year your protein actually went up on the previous year, which is actually contrary to a lot of farms last year, because last year was a tricky year. Most people probably slipped back 0.03, 0.04 in terms of protein delivered, but your protein went up by 0.06. So it, what you're saying in terms of what grass is doing for you is delivering. And would you hope to achieve more?
Yeah, sure. There's always the positive look. I hope with genetics and grass that I can keep improving. I have 60% calved after 3 weeks. Would be hoping I should have 80 to 90% calved in the 8 weeks. Things are going okay now at the moment. There's 38 hectares in the grazing platform. There's 20% grazed. They're on 3.5 kilos of meal. They're out day and night. They are in today because of basically there's snow on the ground here at the moment. So I'm taking today as a wet day, hopefully to get them out this evening for 2 to 3 hours again. This year they were out full time day and night. In early February when the weather was good, they were actually out all night. They were very happy. You go up in the morning and they were all lying down content. And then when the weather started to deteriorate and ground got softer, it's kind of black surface here. So basically, since the weather did deteriorate, I try to get them out for 5 hours during the day, because if a shower of rain comes, I don't want to be going out from at 1 o'clock. I'd rather let them out from 10:30 to 3 if I can at all. Then they're just waiting in the holding yard to be milked, and get them out from 5:30 to 8. Just saves leaving them in the cubicles, and it's a job less lying in the cubicles. But the cows are very content. There's always access to silage actually in front of them when they do come in at night time.
You're standing them off there obviously then after milking in the morning to create that bit of an edge on them for when they do go out.
Yeah.
The other thing then, Dermot, I suppose, as I said, what I probably want to try to get from you, like it's quite clear that you really do like grass, as you said there, but the whole motivation, we'll say, so obviously this morning there's snow on the ground around us at home there as well, and we can't, it's quite obvious maybe that you can't go out, but like we came off the back of the storms there at the weekend. You were back out Monday, grazing again Monday. Like what like you milked the cows in the morning Monday. You left them standing in the collecting yard. You take it, you took off straight away to could you find a dry spot, basically, was it?
Yeah, I left them standing in the milking parlour, the collecting yard. I did think when I was heading out, two different paddocks, and I picked a paddock, and I was actually surprised to see how dry it was when I did get out to walk it. So yeah, they were out in Monday. They were out Saturday grazing during the day. They were in Saturday night, Sunday, and Sunday night. So they were out in again Monday, and from Monday night on in again. It is surprising how fast ground does dry. You go out, like you could be sitting in the yard and say that, and once you're back fencing that they're not walking on what they did in the previous grazing, you'll be surprised how fast after rain you can get out, like, to be honest. Definitely back fencing is like the key to getting them out. Like, there is a little bit of extra work this time of the year and getting them out with wires and things and reels, but it's definitely well worth it. Like,
and just on the infrastructure side of things then, Dermot, like, have you done much in terms of improving access since we'll say with the focus that you have on grass? Have you done anything in terms of improving the access to the ground?
Yeah, sure. Look, anywhere I could get a wire handle off the passage is there. Like the more access points you have to a field, it doesn't have to be this 12-foot wide passage. Like a 4-foot wide slip passage would do you just to get cows out. It's only for the spring and the autumn. But yeah, sure. I focus on my best access fields for the wettest days. What I'm actually grazing at the moment was my last graze last year. It was closed on the 10th of November, and there's a cover of 1100 on it today. Yeah, I suppose, look, if you were planning on reseeding any fields, they'd be the ones you'd be grazing now. That if you did do a little bit of excess damage, that you wouldn't mind, that you'd be reseeding it in April anyway. So I suppose you'd be picking them fields at the moment if the weather was very bad. Yeah, other than that, like, sure, it's just, I suppose, not leaving cows out too long, like, yeah, and just the back fencing.
Yeah, so the other thing that I suppose what the video didn't really do you justice was where you showed where they grazed last night. Probably is nearly the worst of your grazing as such, because you can see further back down along the field that there's very good grazing done there. And like we'll say, in terms of the level of damage that was just there in the video, it's not bad. But is there anything that you'll be watching out now for second round, we'll say, when you'll be coming back around to that section maybe?
Yeah, I suppose, look, we'll be probably kicking off the second rotation on the 6th of April. Anything that was grazed poorly at the moment, be trying to get back into it at 1,000 of a cover to get a better clean out in it. I basically loosened up the wire a little bit. I had graze outs were very good up until Saturday, and then with the rain over the weekend, I gave the cows an extra amount of ground just to reduce damage. Graze outs are okay, like, yeah. Sure, I will get it again in the start of the second rotation if I go in there at 1,000. I'm not concerned over damage and doing it at the moment, and I would consider it fairly good, to be honest. Yeah,
and I suppose just in case people pick me up wrong, I don't think there is damage done there either. Like, it's just a couple of footballs where you took the video. The other thing is that you place is looking really well there in the video in terms of the colour. So you said you spread the slurry there on the 17th of January on 20% of the ground, and then you spread nitrogen on the rest of the ground as well. Are you happy with the response that you got to that nitrogen? Conditions were excellent, obviously, at the time when you did apply them.
Yeah. Soil temperatures there at the end of January or early February were 9. On my farm, there were 9. So I did go out with the 23 units. It definitely picked up. It definitely picked up the whole farm, the early nitrogen. I did a walk 4 weeks previous, and on the 1st of February I was 960. So on the 23rd of the 2nd, I had a farm cover in of 1,010. So I've 20% grazed, and my farm cover still went up. I'm very happy with it. Like where I had 800s have gone to like 1200s in 3 to 4 weeks. I do think on my farm I have a lot higher covers than the last 2 previous years. So I am, when the weather will pick up a bit, I will be trying to pick out some 1700s and some thousands that I won't be leaving all my high covers to the very end, because the high covers will be slower to pick up and recover again. So if I can graze like 20% of my higher covers earlier, that they'll be coming back then as well, is my theory,
So you've nitrogen on those too, Dermot, and you'll be hoping that if the weather will pick up in the next few days, that you might start to go into them in the early March period, ideally, is it?
Yeah. I would say the paddocks that I've grazed now, I'd be hoping none of them got slurry. I'd be hoping to follow them with slurry now as well, 2,500 gallons of slurry on anything that will be grazed and has been grazed. So that's my plan.
Very good. And there's a question in then, do you have any kind of rough, would you be able to give us a rough idea in terms of the amount of silage that the cows are getting, we'll say, consuming overnight?
I have it in as, it's in as 2 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and is the barrier wiped out? The fact that you're standing them off, I suppose, in the morning is you said, am I right in taking you up that they always have silage at their head basically overnight, so that they're not hungry at any point, and then you're just keeping them in the yard for, I suppose, to get a few jobs done, maybe not to be out on the road when people are on their way to work and on their way to school, etc. as well, and also that they just get a chance to get a bit of an edge on them to go grazing when they do go out.
Yeah. Like when I come up to go milking in the morning, there is silage in front of them at 7 o'clock. So I bring them down to the milking yard at around 7:30 or whatever. My theory of leaving them out at 10:30 is so that I can keep them out from 10:30 till 3 o'clock. That basically they're not coming in to stand in the cubicles at 1 o'clock. That is my theory. Okay. I just keep labour down that you'd only be liming in cubicles once. So they are waiting from the time of milking, we'll say, to the time of feeding calves and things. I wait till I have all my jobs done, and then they're left out at the 10:30. Simply because I don't want to be leaving the cows. I could leave them out at 9 o'clock and bring them in at 1 o'clock, but then they'll be waiting again from 1 till 3 for milking. So that's my theory of getting them out at 10:30. And they are happy. Sometimes it's a bad habit, I suppose, to give cows the habit of that, I'll run up and let the cows in when a shower of rain comes. If you start doing that, any shower of rain that you'll get, they will gather. So it's just to eliminate that as well.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, once they go out at 10:30, I don't go for them until 3 o'clock.
And then the other question, I suppose, Dermot, in terms of the fact that you're on the day and night now maybe makes it slightly different for you, but have you that next break ready for tomorrow before you're coming in to milk in the evening time, more or less? Yeah,
I do, yeah. Subject to heavy rainfall, I would know and have it ready for the next day. If we did get heavy rain, I would check that paddock and maybe have to change my system. Yeah. Have as much ready for the next day as possible.
Yeah, okay, very good. So I just going to share a screen here again now in terms of just to show your spring rotation plan there at the minute as well, Dermot. So just So that's just to show the performance of the herd, as I said, which has been really underpinned by the calving pattern and the grass side of things. And I suppose it's important to point out here as well that you're feeding whole milk to calves as well. So this is actually very close to 550, if not over 550 potentially as well. So, and people can see here that within Dairy Gold, the O'Donovan herd is in the top 11% in terms of total solid sold into the co-op. And very good, 5-star report, Dermot, with the exception of the protein there, which as you said, I suppose on the back of genetics, probably the grass is driving it at the moment, and you'll be hoping to push that on even further with the genetics into the future. But an excellent performance overall. So you should be able to see the chart in relation to the spring rotation plan for Dermot's farm at the moment. You can see here that the red line is the target area grazed, and it's important to point out here that while this green line is below the red line here, that's because Dermot's cover is done from yesterday. So you can see that he's 17% of the farm grazed to date. Target is to be at 23, so there'll be more of that going to be grazed before the end of the week, bringing him closer to the actual target there. So you probably expect to slow down a small bit, Dermot, if you do get the weather to go into the heavier covers, I suppose, to get them out of the way. So, and then you might speed up again then as we move on beyond Patrick's Day, depending on the way things are going. Just, I suppose, the other question that I'd have for you then is just in relation to your walks, we'll say. So you did the walk yesterday now because you had a chance, but you had your first walk done maybe just before you turned out in the start of January. Your focus in terms of walks is probably more through the summer than at this time of the year, but what is your plan for walking during the month of March now, we'll say?
From the month of March, definitely once a week. Once we come into April, it'll be twice a week. Like April, May, June, then peak growing months will definitely be twice a week to see if there's surplus grass or grass deficiency. Without pasture base, I will be lost for grazing. Like it is my key tool for grazing. And even like taking out surplus paddocks, you can know when you can reseed. It just gives you so much information ahead of what's happening. Like, I did 45 walks last year. You'd be surprised what happens in 5 days in April. Like things can just get out of control, like in April and May. So it's to keep on top of it. I
suppose the other thing then, Dermot, as well, given the nature of the farm, like, so it's not really fragmented as such, but it's just tricky to get to, like, just the way it's laid out. You have to, as you say, go onto the tar road. So like the walks, like you said there, they're giving you that window of a view ahead. So a lot of the time you can probably avoid having to come in with silage if things were getting tricky at stages during the year by maybe upping the meal a couple of weeks out and carrying through and riding out the storm maybe, rather than finding that, oh my God, we're out of grass and we have to go introduce some silage, which is a complete headache for you to do because of the way the place is set up. Like, it's like going back to spring grazing situation in the middle of the summer then if you have to be bringing cows in.
As you said there, Stuart, basically if you had a grass deficiency, you can feed more meal. And even simple things like, sure, if you have surplus grass that you can go away and bale your farthest away paddocks from the yard, that the cows don't have to be walking that distance. My farthest away paddock from the yard is 1 kilometre. So as little walking to there as possible.
Look, I think I just wanted to say thanks very much because in fairness, you didn't even flinch when I asked you yesterday, would you come on and do this with me today? So I really appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you taking the video yesterday. And I think people will get a lot from listening to you. I think it's quite obvious that you're very interested in the grass side of things, and how it's actually delivered for you is very evident from that co-op performance report as well. So I'd like to congratulate you and your mum and dad on doing an excellent job there on the farm. Fair play to you. And I'd like to thank you again just for coming on this morning. I hope people found it very useful. So we'll wrap it up with that, folks. Wish you all the best for the next few days, and Dermot's intent on getting out again tonight if things are going good, so people head off out there later on in the afternoon when the snow is melted and have a look, see can you get cows out somewhere and get them out to grass and try and get the grazing done. Obviously the objective is to get to that 30% for the 1st of of March or thereabouts, depending on where you're farming. It does help a lot to have that grass coming back in the early part of April for the majority of farms. There are some very heavy farms that obviously have no grazing done maybe as yet. They work on a different trajectory. So, but for the vast majority of people, we have to be targeting to get this 30-odd% grazed at the start of March, and then moving on as we move into March. We'll come back to look at it again. We won't pick on you this time, Dermot. We'll get someone else to fill the gap here for us. So thanks again, Dermot, for coming on. Next week, I'm going to do a little bit in milk recording because it's that time of year to get started if people aren't starting. And maybe in the meantime, might be a chance for people to think about making that phone call to their milk recording organisation to start organising the recordings. And Emma Louise has a podcast done on it this week as well that people should tune into as well. So we wish you well for the week. Thanks a million again, Dermot. Really appreciate you coming on. Wish you all well for the week, and take care, everyone. And thank you.
That's all for this week's Let's Talk Dairy webinar series. And don't forget to look out for more bonus episodes each week. I'll be back with our usual Dairy Edge interview on Monday, so do listen in then. I'm Emma Louise Coffey, and thanks for listening.